Welcome back, everybody, to episode number 34 of the Out the Field podcast. As you notice, my co-host is not here. Mobo. He's too busy doing stunt jumps in Monaco right now. But we held a vote to find out who would fill in for Mobo, and they swept the floor with the competition. Gabe is going to be guest hosting with me on episode 34. Gabe, are you excited?
I am super excited. Yeah, we just get this mic right here.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is my first time ever hosting a podcast, so hopefully I do pretty well.
Yes, and you did not have the option to sign this flag right here when you were a guest on the episode.
Look at that.
So I've told you guys about this before. From now on, every guest we have is going to sign this flag to commemorate when they were here on the Out the Field podcast. So why don't we do that for you since you're here this time? Nothing fancy about it, just Gabe. Gabe.
I don't have a signature.
All right, we're going to get that all filled up. I'm going to take that to softball eventually and just have all the guests that we've already had just sign it so we can get all caught up with that. But not only is Gabe guest hosting today, we are going to have a guest alongside you, and it is nobody in the softball crew. It is not just a Mobo and Austin episode. This is the first time we're going to have a fellow baseball content creator as a guest.
Time?
Yes, you know him very well. I know him
very
very well. It's Dsarm, Dan Sarmiento in the house.
Let's go. What's up, man? How you doing?
I am good. How are you?
I'm great, man. I just drove down. It's cool that we can do it in person.
I know.
I'm kind of getting tired of like Zoom interviews.
I honestly thought, I wasn't sure exactly where you lived.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like he's going to say Zoom. And then you're like, oh, wait, let's do it in person.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
I get a lot of DMs from people who are like, oh, let's do an interview. Like, I'll send you a link for Zoom. And I'm like, I'll do it because it's like nice. And I really like the conversation.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of just getting tired of like the talking to people over the phone, over the
Yeah,
computer. I like
sure.
in-person type stuff.
Yeah.
So.
I'm really excited because for this podcast, we've had plenty of myself and Mobo interviewing the softball crew. You're the first content creator
Let's go.
that's joined us.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here, man. I love just talking to people who are doing stuff that I'm doing.
Same.
Like, it's fun.
Like it's the passion, and then you see the trueness of everybody come out during these moments.
Yes, sir.
So right now, your love for content. You've explained to your audience. You've been doing this for a while. All kinds of videos, vlogs, baseball commentary, even podcasting, just like we're doing here. Where did that passion start, and what makes you love creating?
Dude, I've been making videos since I was like 10 or 11 years old. Like, I remember how my dad got like an iPad and he never used it. I would play Clash of Clans on it and then and then make YouTube videos of like my dog and my cat, you know, with like an edit, like iMovie, putting music behind it. And I was like, this is sick. And then I found out about YouTube because I played a lot of video games, Madden and like NCAA. I think it was like NCAA 13 at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like 11. And then I started watching YouTubers and I was like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber. Like, this seems sick. You get to play video games for your job.
Yeah.
And then I was just posting videos of my dog and my cat for like years. And then I started doing Madden Mobile was like my big thing. I love Madden Mobile. I watched like MMG and I don't know,
Yeah.
Madden Mobile Slay was another guy.
Yeah.
Became part of that kind of community. And then my love for like baseball kind of grew. I started playing baseball competitively more and like getting recruited and stuff. And I wanted to kind of document that journey, which eventually turned into the podcast I did about baseball, which now eventually turned into me going to stadiums and talking to cool people and, you know, just living in Los Angeles from
sick.
New Hampshire. It's like I'm in Los Angeles now. Like, it's crazy. So
Yeah.
I'm having a good time, man. It's fun.
That's what I love about the baseball creators is pretty much every baseball creator wanted to play baseball.
Yeah.
And if it didn't work out somewhere or the other, and they find another way to do it. Like for me, like I love hearing the stories of how all the creators came to the point of creating. And this was something I never thought of doing. And it was my senior year. I had an open class and my counselor was like, you want to do something really easy? Just really like you'll fly by. And she put me in like Photoshop basically. And then my friend was in that class. He taught me everything. He taught me how to use the editing program I use. And then from then on, I was like, you know what? This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And I love it. Like we're our own bosses basically. Like,
Well, dude, that's the thing where it's
That's
like
the dream.
I was in school. I was at Azusa Pacific. That's why I really moved out of Southern California. I went to Azusa Pacific to play baseball. I was there for like a week. and I decided not to play baseball at that point, so I was just going to be an athlete there because I wanted to do content.
Yeah.
But to my parents, I was like, I'll go to the school, I'll go to do my classes, but I want to be making these videos about baseball.
Yeah.
And then I was there for a week, and I'm like, I don't like going to class. I don't like any of this.
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
During class, I'd be on my computer editing my new clip or whatever, my reel, or editing the new video I was coming out with. So I was just like, maybe I should just go all in on the thing I actually am naturally all in on, which is like sweet. And like the being your own boss part is really fun.
sick.
Traveling around, meeting people is fun. We've done some cool stuff. Gabe, we've done some cool
stuff.
Yeah,
It's like great content.
And we've evolved together too.
I
Like,
know.
Last year was so much different than this year.
Yeah, it's when I met you, I had no idea who you were. To be honest, I had no idea who you were, and then
That's how it all starts.
Now you know.
I know, dude, now I know.
Yeah.
Look
I
at
mean, how
Dodger
can you
films,
not?
bro.
Yeah.
I showed up to the first game. I didn't know who Bobby was. My
Yeah.
friend invited me. I'm like, I like softball.
Yeah.
And now
It's
look-
always so crazy to think about how we didn't know it was gonna get that big. You know,
No.
we just showed up to have some fun and play some softball,
Hmm.
and it just turned into something that changed our lives forever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Gabe, I'm gonna test you. Make sure you got those notes open. Let's talk about young Dan right now.
Oh,
you see where we're at?
young Dan, what? Oh yeah, the baseball journey.
Yeah.
That part.
I think you skipped ahead a little.
Oh, oops. Oh yeah. When you, I don't even know what part are you at.
What's your favorite team? Baseball
your
team.
favorite team.
My favorite baseball team?
guys.
Yeah.
I am not a host yet. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
You're working on your content creating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually the star. Now you need to be the star and behind the scenes too.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. But what is your favorite team?
I think I grew up a Red Sox fan. I grew up going to Red Sox games. Fenway Park is like 40 minutes south of where I grew up.
Beautiful.
I was born in Massachusetts, so like I was kind of a Red Sox guy. My dad is from he like lived in Massachusetts until from 18 on for college. But like honestly, I'm more of a fan of like players, and like I don't really like I'm actually starting to really like watching the Dodgers because I've met these. I know Miguel Rojas. I've met Alex Vesey. Like I know these guys now. I have like we've talked before. We did podcasts together. So like I'm rooting for them, and then I end up kind of rooting for the Dodgers because of them. Or I'm trying to think the Angels. Like Brandon Geyer is their mental skills coach, and like I'll tune into a game and be like, well, I want to see Brandon. Like I know that guy. I want him to see him have success or whatever. So I'm becoming more of a fan of players, especially pitchers, because I was a pitcher. So like I started just loving like watching Tyler Glasnow and Marcus Stroman and these guys who are like really dope on the field, but also off the field they have cool personalities too. So like I wouldn't even say like I'm a Red Sox fan. Like I keep up with all of MLB, but like it's more like players, you know.
Okay.
Did you have a favorite player growing up?
Yeah, like I think David Ortiz was my favorite player, but that's like
man,
everyone. Like,
Yeah.
That era of the Red Sox just killed my childhood
Oh,
as
yeah.
an Angels
Yeah, as
fan
an
because
Angels
we'd
fan,
always
yeah.
make playoffs and they'd always be the one to kick us out in the first round.
That's why it was fun rooting for them because it was like easy. Like the Red Sox were so good then, and it was like they had the fan base is crazy for the Red Sox.
Back
like,
when
it's
the
really
Angels
good.
were actually like
Yeah,
solid.
we actually knew how to make playoffs.
Yeah,
playoffs. What's
And
playoffs?
I remember when we hosted the All-Star game, I was so against the Red Sox, and David Ortiz was in the home run derby. I'm like, anybody but him.
Yeah.
And he won the whole thing.
Yeah, I know. That was like, it's him and Pedroia. I love Pedroia too. Those guys, Papelbon. Like that's like the OG Red Sox crew.
Yeah.
But,
So baseball's changed so much. What's a change you would make to baseball?
oh, like at the sport itself.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think leaning into more of the content, the independent content creators. Obviously,
Yeah.
I'm a little biased, but like that's what I think baseball could really do more of. Like the MLB creator class and all that kind of stuff is a good first step, but I think like just kind of like giving more access to people. Like I'd love to have a group of like 10 content creators that MLB reaches out to, and like we get to go to the World Series. We get to go do all these things, not just the creator class people, but like the people who are actually making content about baseball.
Thank you.
Give them,
I think
Thank
them
they
opportunities.
were so hot. They came off so hot. They had an amazing first creator class.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
great.
Like they're all still doing amazing right now.
Yeah.
You know, Jackson's playing with the Savannah Bananas. Trevor's doing his thing right now. But, you know, like I feel like they kind of just they were so hot, and then they just started going down.
Yep.
They started picking, like, not to like
Non-baseball
disrespect,
people.
but like non-baseball. It's a baseball creator.
That's
class. It's for
exactly the
MLB.
sentence I was waiting for you to say, because that's where it seems like it's come to, where they're inviting creators, but they have nothing to do with baseball. And like, for example, me and you were at the Creator Cup,
Yes,
and
right.
Yeah.
we played in that, and one of the people in it didn't even know it was a baseball event. she was like, I thought it was like a Pokemon thing, and I'm like,
God,
I was
dude.
like,
it's just kind of like offensive towards the people.
exactly,
Who love baseball.
exactly.
You
So
know?
MLB, your boy right
But
here is getting.
I think they're trying. I think MLB is they're it's
trying.
tough when you're such a big organization. You're kind of bloated and kind of move slow, and it's hard to adapt. You have to have people like really pushing to get that stuff done. So I know there's people who work at MLB who are really pushing. It's more just about like people like us proving our worth to them and like being like, no, we're bringing new fans to the game.
Yeah.
Then we got to get so big to the point where they have to take notice. You know what I mean?
Like I get their mindset because they want these audiences that don't watch baseball to take that creator who does like cooking and they're like, look, I'm at this baseball event, watch baseball. So I get their mindset on that, but then it does kind of feel like a slap in the face to the people who are baseball creators 24/7, 365, and they don't even hear a word. And it's like, whatever. But I mean, I do push for creators getting involved all the time because it's definitely the wave that's going on, not just in baseball, but just the world. Like,
I mean, that's kind of what we're doing. Me, Leo, and Tony, like our little crew. It's like we're just trying to email everyone, and like we just have ideas, and we're just like, who can we like? We want to do a video at the Diamondbacks pool suite, where it's like that was just an idea we had 6 months ago. So we just Google like, how can we get in contact to do something there? 6 months later, finally, like we get in contact with the right person, find the date that works, and we just pitch them the idea like, oh, we just want to do a YouTube video, see like our videos get a good amount of views, maybe we could bring exposure, blah blah blah. Like we have to pitch ourselves. It'd be cool if we got to the point where it's like they're pitching us on an idea, where it's like, oh, you guys should all come and cover this event. You know?
I've been trying a similar situation. I love the Angels, I always have, and I think it would be the most amazing thing to throw out a first pitch for them. And a good friend of mine, Tony Todd, knows like everybody. And so we're constantly on the field at Angel Stadium, and he's always looking not at the players, he's looking for the employees. And he's like, we're going to make it happen. He's like, it'll happen. And so we're always talking, and we're like, so who do we have to talk to? Who do we need to look for to make this happen? And the argument always is, it's like, if I tell my audience, I'm like, I'm throwing out first pitch, kids will buy tickets, especially this late in the year when they're like $4 and the Angels are out of playoff contention. And then what was the other point? Either way, if I make the and I tell my friends and I tell family, I'm like, it'll be a whole event. Like everybody will come. The kids, they got to have somebody drive them. Food, parking.
And then you get to make a vlog out of it. 30,000 people watch the vlog, and they're like become maybe more fans of the Angels, or fans at least of like the people behind, like they can see the behind the scenes of it, which is really special. Now,
I want to talk about just your baseball journey. When did it start, from high school to college to the point you're at now?
Yeah, man. So, I mean, I started playing. I've got videos of me. I'm lucky that my dad would always record all my stuff, so like I have a whole documentation. So I started playing baseball like when I was super young, like t-ball, 3 or 4 years old, and I started realizing like I was kind of good compared to other people. I was like one of those kids who was just taller and bigger than people when I was like 14. Yeah, like when I was like 14. I've been this height since I was like 12. But I was just one of those people. I was like, oh, but I also love the game too. So I just was really dedicated to it, and I was a lefty. I was lucky that I was a lefty, so I just became a pitcher. And then when I was like 15, 16, I started throwing a little harder than people, but also learned about throwing curveballs, throwing off speed and stuff, and kind of wanted to be a D1 player. Like that was kind of like my goal. I was like, if I can sit like 85, 86 as a lefty with a good off speed, I'll be like, oh, I'm a D1. I could be like a Northeast D1 guy. And then I ended up tearing my rotator cuff when I was 16, and that kind of like shifted my whole perspective to be like, well, maybe I'm not a D1 guy, but like, do I still want to play college baseball? And at that point I did a post-grad year at a school. I reclassed to 2022, went up to a school in Maine. And it was like an all athlete, all guys school. So we would train. It was like, we had a really good football team, really good lacrosse team. Baseball was like all sports centric, which was a blast. And that's when I started really going hard on the content, because it was just like me and the guys just like filming like our lifts and stuff. It was just like fun stuff. And I committed to a school called the Azusa Pacific University out in Southern California. I really shifted I was just emailing every school out here just to try to get interest, because I wanted to be in California. And they offered me just a spot. It was like a preferred walk-on kind of thing. Like it was no money. It was like I had a spot in the team type thing. And I was like, that's great. I get to go to Southern California. And then over that summer,
it's like an excuse to go to.
It was just like, oh, sweet. Like I get to go to Southern California.
If I was gonna go anywhere and just honestly be able to start the content journey too, you want to go to LA.
Yeah, like I went on a family vacation to like Santa Monica that summer before, and I was like, why am I not living here? Like this is amazing. Like this is sick. Like people are
not
like,
for everyone.
yeah, it's not for
Not for
everyone, but
everyone.
it's just different because I'm from a kind of, New Hampshire's just, I'm in the woods.
Dude,
it's
I don't
like
even know
lakes,
where
and
that
it's
is.
like, yeah, bro, it's like we got woods and lakes and small little New England towns, which is cool. But like I come out here and I see people like are all tatted up and like making videos and like doing just like riding skateboarding and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, no one from my hometown did stuff like that. So I was just like, oh, this is kind of surfing. People are surfing out here. I'm like, that's sick. So this is where I wanted to be. And then eventually, yeah. Well,
What's
actually,
that?
we do a beach in New Hampshire, but it's not cool.
I have no idea when
It's
it is.
cold.
It's cold. It's freezing cold. Yeah, the Atlantic Ocean is cold.
Yeah, once you get a taste of California, you don't want to leave.
I
And
know,
especially
yeah.
it's like people who've grown up here, like, and I've traveled plenty, and I'm like, dude, I cannot see myself anywhere besides California.
Oh my god,
It's
dude!
just
I've
nice.
gone to like Tennessee for a baseball event or something, and I'm just driving and it's straight trees, no city. I'm
Grass,
like,
corn.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what is all this green?
Yeah.
But it's just like I'm like, I need a city. Like I'm a city boy. Honestly.
I like the city is also fires me up a little more. Like I'm just like people are out here moving and doing stuff and it's
Yeah.
busy, which is fun. I don't like New York City. I like LA more. New York
Right?
City is a little
Okay.
too much. That's
Yeah.
just because I grew up going to New York City for like trips and stuff. But anyway, came out here, Azusa, ended up not wanting to play. I was like, I just want to go content. Like I just
Yeah.
want to go all in on.
Feel
Like
you.
I started getting a little bit of growth, and then I ended up dropping out. I did online school for a little bit, and I was like, I still don't even like this. So now I'm just full time.
Dude, I missed that window by a semester.
Yeah,
like
with COVID.
right when I graduated, COVID hit, and then everyone started doing online classes, and I was like, whew, thank God.
Yeah,
Where were
right.
you?
Yeah, no, it sucked.
Where were you when COVID hit? Like,
Where was I?
how
I was
old were you?
I was
How-
junior in high
You
school.
were junior.
Junior in high school.
How old are you now?
I'm 20. I'm 20 right
Dang,
now. I'm
You're 20?
I'm
2
20.
years older
Yeah.
than
I thought you were like 23 or
No,
something.
I'm
22
20.
years older than me.
I graduated high school in 2021. So
Wow.
Oh
yeah.
my god!
Damn.
I didn't know you were that. I thought you were like at least like 22.
See,
Wait, you
that's
did?
what I'm saying.
I didn't know
old I
how
am?
old you were.
I'm 20. I'm almost 21. I turned 21
Okay.
in a few weeks.
What are
So
you gonna do for your birthday?
I'm going home. The Dolphins play
Oh.
the Patriots in
Dude,
New England.
I'm feeling the
I'm
Dolphins
a
right now,
Dolphins
bro.
fan.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm feeling the Dolphins.
We
I'm
just
excited.
We just added Gabe to our fantasy league, so he's
Ooh,
all
dude, hey,
big.
You a
fantasy,
football guy?
I am locked. I'm about to be a football.
Oh,
guy.
you're really not.
Like I
yeah.
always liked players, but I didn't really know that much. But
Uh-huh.
now that I'm getting to fantasy, Austin can tell you I've been locked
Dude,
in.
he
I'm
is
checking
studied.
Do you have a
everything
team? Do you have
every
a favorite team?
what?
Like a favorite?
No, I don't even have a favorite
Oh,
team.
wow.
So I'm looking every day, looking at my team, looking
Yeah.
at my players.
Who are you a fan of?
I'm a Seahawks fan.
Seahawks. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't
On the
what I
come up.
expected.
Yeah.
Why Seahawks?
Because when I was growing, so I got into football, I think like junior year of high school, pretty late.
So that's when they're
And-
really good, right?
Yeah,
The Seahawks?
well, so there was no LA team.
Oh,
There-
right,
nobody
dude.
was here.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I mean, I'm kind of like a free agent.
yeah.
And then Russell Wilson, I like really caught my attention early in his career, and I was like, dude, I like this Russell Wilson guy. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna ride with him and the Seahawks.
Yeah.
And then 1 year later, that was the Super Bowl we won,
Yeah.
and I was like, well, that was a good decision,
Right, dude. And yeah, and it's a fun dude. They have a great fan base too.
Oh,
Talk about,
dude.
yeah. Like
I
Seahawks
went
fans are
there to watch a game against the 49ers, like 2019, and it was if we won that game, we would have made playoffs, and it was the year Marshawn signed, like late in
great.
the
Yeah, I
season.
just joined late. Yeah.
And we were damn 1 yard line. We were at the one, and we were like 10 yards out, and we threw it. Guy catches it at the one, and he gets hit like right before the goal line. Game's over.
Bro.
And I was like,
Oh. But that's how you know you're a true fan because you feel the pain of it. You're just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
for the Dolphins, bro. If they lose, like my day is ruined. Like I'm
yeah,
like, this sucks.
I literally saw a TikTok the other day. It's like when your football team loses and you swear it's not gonna ruin your whole day. I was like, no, it will.
It will.
ruins your day.
Yeah.
But fantasy to your fantasy like
Oh
I'm
my
gonna be
gosh.
pissed if my when
So
my team
I'm a
loses.
rookie, and I actually got a good team.
Yeah.
Like I created a good team based off. There's a lot of players I didn't even know who they were, but now I'm learning more about them, and I'm like,
He stayed
These
here the
guys are
night
legit.
before. The whole, like half the conversation was like, all right, do I either start Terry McLaurin or Jackson Smith and Jigba?
Okay, there you go.
I'm a big
Who's-
I'm a big college football. I love
okay.
college
Yeah.
football. I love Oregon. I love USC.
Okay.
Like,
Ooh,
those
that's
are
kinda
my
two
schools.
different-
I know, but like I just
Yeah.
I got into Oregon because
Oregon's
one of my good friends, Justin Flo, he went to Oregon.
That's
He
a
was
cool, good
top
friend.
recruit.
Yeah,
So I was
I know
like-
Justin
So I was
Flo.
like, yeah, he's at Arizona now, but you know, he kind of got me into Oregon. I didn't really know anything about college football.
Yeah.
So I started watching a lot of games for Oregon. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
Oregon's sick. And then USC.
Bro, yeah, I love Oregon. We went up there in February, bro. I
Lucky.
fell in love with Eugene. It
Lucky
was
duck.
sweet, bro. Like, we got to go on the field, the football field, baseball. It was sweet.
Yeah.
But back to baseball.
Yeah, anyway.
So what was like the max velocity you hit, and what is like your advice for kids that want to gain velocity?
Well, like when I was like a sophomore, and I topped at 86, and I was like, know, 82 to 84, touching 85, 86 as a lefty. It was like, okay, like I could throw strikes and stuff.
Lefty, so it's
yeah, lefty, like you can get away with it. And for me, but I trained so hard, bro. Like I would definitely outwork the kids who threw harder than me, not just because they were more naturally gifted, but I just loved it. I just loved lifting. I loved throwing,
it's like
bro.
that. It's
It is, bro.
There's that kid that's just.
That's what I learned, man. It's like a lot of it's out of your control. So just like you got to control the controllables.
Yeah,
like control the things you're actually like capable of, like going, get your work done, doing your stuff, like, you know, taking care of your body and all that. But some of the things you just can't, like, you can't get pissed when a kid throws 95 who doesn't work hard, because it's like there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah,
you just gotta focus on
exactly.
yourself. So that's the thing, you gotta kind of go at your own pace. Like a lot of these dudes I talked to, bro, like Alex Vesia was throwing like 83 in his freshman year of college. He was like, you know, 18, 19
He's
years
like
old.
95 now, right?
And now he sits 95 and he's a big leaguer. And like, you know, it's just like people go at different paces. So just kind of like find your process and trust it.
Yeah.
And I kind of use that knowledge from baseball to make content now. Now I'm trying to go
exactly.
like do my own thing in content, you know? So yeah.
Love it. What I loved already, you can see the baseball creator in you just based how you're talking and how you're handling the whole podcast compared to like the people we pull from softball, where it's totally different. And Gabe, I'm going to give you your props already too as a guest host. You're already tackling questions without me having to say anything.
Yes,
So love that for you.
You gotta have some feel.
You got to
It's
feel.
about feel.
It is about feel.
You did talk about your rotator cuff earlier, and we actually had that as a topic. You did tear your rotator cuff, and that's something that can really kill somebody's confidence. What did you do during that healing process to stay in a positive mindset?
Yeah, that was tough, bro. I remember like getting the MRI back when I was like 16. I just got like my license, and I was like, I went to go get my MRI. I was like, I think I'm fine. Like I'm probably chilling. It's probably just like sore or something. I don't even know. And then, do you have a license? No. Yeah, this kid doesn't even have a license.
For driving?
Yeah, driving.
Oh, dude, I cannot with this generation.
This topic is
dude.
Austin. Whenever he hears a driving topic, with like young
You think
kids,
you
he
think you
hates
live
it.
close? You don't.
You gotta get your, anyway. Yeah, I got in my car and I was like, I'm probably fine. Then I went to the MRI, get it back, and they're like, yeah, it's torn. And I'm like, oh, that sucks.
It
Like
didn't
how
hurt?
long? What?
Like it wasn't like, oh, I can't even move.
Well, dude, it hurt. Like I couldn't lift it up, but I was like, oh, it's like probably just like soreness. I don't know. I didn't.
I'll
know
just ice
anything.
it when I get
I
home.
was like, yeah, like I was literally just icing, and I'm like, it'll
Yeah.
heal, whatever.
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you're that age, you just throw like all
Yeah.
the time. And then they're like, yeah, it's gonna be like a 6-month recovery. We won't have to do surgery, but like. Yeah, no surgery, but just PT for 6 months. Can't throw for like 8 months. And I was like, I can't throw for 8 months. Like that sucks. So it was really, it became very mental at that point. I was like, okay, I gotta like just. That's when I talk about like control what you can control, because like there was nothing I could do at that point. So I started just like listening to a bunch of like kind of like podcasts, self-help stuff, reading books, and just trying to like gain steps and stuff that I hadn't focused on before. And then doing different workouts. Like I was really focusing on my legs at that point because I couldn't do anything upper body, and just like going as hard as I could in the other aspects, which I think helped a lot, because like now I actually just like I found a love for like listening to podcasts. I made my own podcast at that point. You know, I listened to a lot of audiobooks, reading books, and then just like kind of diving into the whole like improving yourself mentally kind of category of stuff. So that helped a lot. It sucked, and like obviously, but I learned a lot from it. I became a lot more diligent about my recovery after that, like, you know, the years following. So it helped a lot. It definitely like kind of paved the way for where I am now, getting hurt. So I'm like kind of glad it happened.
I see it's like you're in high school.
Yeah.
That's in 16 up. That's so important to your recruiting process, and you want to be able to get better every year. You know, you want to have huge improvements, and it's like that you're stopped for 8 months. Like, was it during summer too? Like,
bro, it was down in Georgia, the WWBA.
Oh, that's where
I threw, and my velo was down. I was like, I only topped it like 83, and my shoulder kind of hurt, but I pitched a good game. I threw like 105 pitches. I was like, I know. I was like, I felt good, but like, I was like, why am I not throwing as hard? Because I'd been up to 86 like the week before, and then I was just like playing catch the next day. And I went to go throw the first one, and just pop, like it just like
you felt it, and you were like, oh, that's.
And I was like, oh, maybe that's why my shoulder was really sore.
That's no bueno.
Yeah, I was like, this, and I couldn't lift it. I was like, why can't I lift my arm? So like that really taught me. And then like I don't know, why was I throwing the day after I threw 105 pitches?
Such an
like,
important part of high school too, where you can't throw or you can't play, like that. That sucks.
Yeah, so like that was like midsummer recruiting, blah blah blah. I got cut off, done. That was like end of June or early July. So like the whole season was done, which sucked. But like we moved, you know, we had to we moved regardless. So like I just had to keep going, and like I said, improve what I could improve.
This was the experience I was talking about, that we can tell you're a content creator. This topic right here, you basically already answered. I feel like I don't even need to ask it at this point. being from New Hampshire over on the East Coast, what was the biggest change coming from East to West Coast? You were talking about that, like coming to LA, the surfing, the drive of the people.
Yeah.
I feel like you already tackled it.
Dude, I know, right? That's like a big part of like why I'm, here. Like it's because it was just so different, and like I kind of needed a different change of pace. Like I remember graduating high school, and I was just kind of like, all right, now like what do I do? Like I could just go out with my friends every night. Like that's what everyone's doing, getting ready for college and stuff. Yeah. And I was like, I kind of want to like keep playing baseball. So I ended up doing the post grad year and was just like grinding up in Maine. But then it sucks waking up and it's negative 10 degrees out and you got to go to a morning lift, bro.
I don't even know where Maine is.
Dude, I don't.
It's like, it's the worst. It's the worst thing in the world, but builds character. So I'm glad I did that. And then I'm like, okay, I worked hard then so I can be outside in 75-degree weather and be editing on my computer now.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, it's one of those things.
Like, what's the coldest we've ever faced, Gabe? Like 30 degrees here?
Dude.
Maybe.
I remember it snowed last year was probably one of the coldest years we've had in a long time, and it was snowing at my house.
Oh yeah.
I think you were like.
I was around then.
Yeah, you were around, but it was snowing and stuff, and that was probably the hardest time for me. I hated it.
Yeah, bro, I don't like the cold.
No.
I got tired of shoveling, bro. Shoveling snow is the worst thing.
Oh
my God.
A lot of hard days work.
And then like to even get your car started is a whole process,
Dude,
right?
The amount. One time, bro, it started snowing. And I went to go. My mom was like, "You gotta go." My sister she's a little older than me. She lived in the same town. She was like, "Could you go shovel?" Her name's Ryan. She's like, "Can you go shovel Ryan's driveway so she can get her car out?" So I was like, "All right, sure." So I start driving. It's like 9 p.m. It was snowing like a couple inches at that time, and the train tracks started coming down. And I was like, "Oh, let me brake." And I braked.
Oh no!
And my car didn't stop.
Oh,
and
God.
I was like kind of doing this thing. And I was like. Foot totally on the brake, and then the train tracks are like ding ding ding, and I'm like,
God.
what is going on? And like as it goes down, I was just like, I just gotta accelerate. Like it wasn't stopping, so I just accelerated out, kind of spun out a little bit towards like a gas station, and got out of it. Pulled over for like 10 minutes, and I was like, bro, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, what is like. And then I see the train behind me go by, and I'm like, "That's scary." Because I probably would have just got out of the car or something, but like that would have sucked. Like my car getting demolished by a train. But it's just like the challenges of snow. It's like not being able to starting your car in the morning. It doesn't start half the time.
Yeah. So. Things like that would just give a person from Southern California a heart attack.
Bro, like that's why I'm out here. Like it's better.
We'd be like a lost puppy, bro.
Yeah.
We'd be like, "What do we do?
What is this?"
So. You and I met, I'd say officially, for the first time this year at WBC. We chatted it up a little bit at the house you were staying at.
Yep.
And I want to know how you and Gabe officially met.
Oh, I remember. So it was the All-Star game.
All-Star weekend.
So I met you at the All-Star game. I was like, I don't know who this kid is. And you're like, I don't know. You told the story like, I didn't even know who you were. Like,
I swear. I saw you like once or twice. I'll say that. But like you looked familiar. I was like, I've seen
you.
You
looked familiar to me too, but I wasn't sure why.
So I remember what it was. So it was after the All-Star game. No, after the Home Run Derby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was after the Home Run Derby.
It was in like a concourse.
Yeah, it was. No, it was. We met you at the hotel.
But I met you in the concourse first at the game, and then you couldn't get into the hotel, and then I got you into the hotel.
Oh,
we
yeah.
had met before.
Yeah, it was like, so we met at the concourse or whatever. I was like,
well, remember at the hotel, our badges, I don't think we're good for that hotel, but they just saw badges, and they were like, "Oh, you guys are supposed to be in here?" And we're like, Yeah.
So
I just walked in. Like,
so he was like, we're just sitting there, kind of just waiting for like maybe one of them to notice we have badges or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I see like Dan pop his little curly head out, and he's like, "Oh, these guys, they're with me, they're with us." And so they're like, "Oh yeah." So we just walked right in.
You're welcome.
And then just friendship.
Yeah. Well,
Friendship.
it's funny because I didn't have a badge either. I was just in there before the party started or whatever, and they just like. I was already there, like me and Leo.
Because you were with Leo,
we were just chilling, like editing in the.
Leo knew who I was, right?
Leo knew who you were.
Like he told you.
Yeah, he like. I didn't really know who many of the people. I knew Marika. Marika actually helped me get in, but yeah, dude, it's just. And then we started becoming friends, and we were just homies after that. And then you go to EM, and that's where Ryan hooked me up with our first like kind of studio type thing. Yeah. And then I would be there all the time when I was at APU. And then I kind of stopped going.
You just abandoned.
Well, because I moved to.
Abandoned me. You know, we were always making content, and then he just never came.
No, but like I just had no reason to go. Like I was in Santa Monica, but we did just make a banger video.
We did just make a
couple
banger
weeks
video.
ago.
It was sick.
Almost 500K on YouTube.
Shit.
Yeah, it did really well.
Dang.
But yeah, no, me and Gabe are just homies, man. Like we just think the same way.
Love it.
I want him to make more content though.
Speaking of content, let's dive into the topics of your content. You visited many college facilities, USC, Oregon, TCU, many more. What is your favorite facility that you visited, and then the best looking field, in your opinion?
I think Oregon was my favorite because one, I'm a big Oregon fan. Like I love Nike, the story of Phil Knight, all that kind of stuff. The people who started Nike.
Yeah.
And Oregon is obviously like that's the school for that. So it was sick to just go there, bro. They gave us so much access. Like it was just me and shout out Isaac Aon, who's a pitcher at Oregon, and then RJ Gordon. You know Isaac? You met him at the hotel. Yeah, I remember.
I met Isaac.
That was a fun, that was a fun night.
Dude, that guy's crazy, bro.
Yeah, we had some fun banter.
That guy's hilarious.
We were sitting there just all watching like FaZe Rug. Like,
Oh, yeah,
we're like, this is sick. It was like
yeah, that was when was that?
That was
the
Charlie
draft
Soto
combine.
was there. That was the draft combine. Oh yeah, because
I had a tournament in AZ for the draft combine.
Isaac's gonna be a draft guy next year. RJ is gonna be a draft guy. But it was so fun because they were just like, I was like, do we have to like talk to an operations guy? They're like, no, you can film whatever. We do everything here. They're like, we love the social media stuff.
Love it.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So that was super fun. Obviously the field was beautiful. We went to a game. And they got swept that game, which was crazy, by UC Santa Barbara. And then they went on a crazy run and like ended up being ranked and almost made it to the World Series if they didn't lose to Oral Roberts. But yeah, dude, that was super fun. UNC was beautiful. UNC's probably like the field was probably the nicest because it's like perfect dirt, like the brick outfield. It just matches perfectly the UNC blue. Yeah, that was probably my favorite. And then Miami. I grew up a Miami fan. My dad is originally from Miami, so like going there and getting like they were giving us shirts and stuff and giving a whole tour, and they were really accommodating. I did like a collab post with Miami's baseball account, which was so cool to me. I was like, yeah, it's like my hometown team, or my dad's hometown team. So yeah, those are probably my top three, like Oregon, UNC, Miami, and those, funny enough, probably are the ones that did the best as well, like performed the best, because they're just, I think other people think they're just super cool as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, I love to hear that with how they treated you, because like for you, it's an opportunity. It's something you're like, dude, you can make a video, and two, it's like just that experience alone. It's like, dude, I would have never thought I'd get to be able to do this when I was a kid. And then for them, it's like all the shout outs, the social media that you carry with you is benefiting them. So
yeah, it's like, it's become like, we're really excited for the fall because we got some like 6 schools lined up. We're going to Hawaii in a couple of weeks, going to go tour University of Hawaii, and we're going to try to implement more like not just baseball, but like the student athlete experience. So it's like a mock recruiting visit where, like, you know, if you're going on a recruiting visit for a D1 school, they're going to show you the dining hall, they're going to bring you to a football game, basketball game, whatever, all that stuff. So I want to do more of that kind of like broad appealing stuff. And it helps the school, but also like baseball is kind of our in, so it helps the baseball program and helps us because we get to make sick content. So it's like a mutually beneficial thing, and we go about it professionally, and we want to make it the best quality video we can. So like, it's awesome as long as they give us the access. Like, we're gonna make a sweet video.
Oh yeah, for sure. You've also had the opportunity to interview many players: MJ Melendez, Lance McCullers, Tyler Glasnow. What is some of the best advice some of these ball players have given you, especially most of those being pitchers, and you yourself were a pitcher?
Yeah, that's why I probably interview more pitchers, because I lean towards the pitchers. Like, dude, Glasnow interview was sick. I mean, all those Lance's interview was sick. All those guys are super cool, man. They're just like, yeah, you know, when you're young, you think these MLB players are like, oh, they're like crazy.
You think they're like gods.
Yeah, you think they're like gods. Then you meet them, and they're like, oh, bro, like, yeah, I play Fortnite, I play video games.
Yeah.
I got like I live in, you know, Texas or whatever. Like, they're just normal people, but they just have a really sick job, and they have a lot of money, and that's cool too.
Yeah.
But like, they're normal dudes, and they like see us doing our thing and kind of grinding our way, and then they're like, they respect it. So like, they're always very open. Like, you know, Lance was kind of the first interview where I was like, whoa, like Lance McCullers, like, this is going to be sick, like in-person podcast. And he was so dope, bro. We sat down for like 2 hours. He was just asking us questions, like kind of picking our brain. We're asking him about his whole story. I mean, he's got like amazing insight, obviously winning the World Series, but being on like the Astros scandal and
team,
he was involved with, like, he's been in that organization for so long, and but he has such a broad perspective on just like life itself and like why, you know, who's he trying to impact with his career and stuff, because he's a little older now. It's just cool to talk to those dudes, man, because like they see probably some of themselves in us, where it's like we're, you know, 20, 18, whatever, like younger people. They're like, oh, I remember when I was that age, I wanted like a mentor. I'd love to have conversations like this. So I think they respect it a little bit, and for us it's amazing because like I'm a fan too. Like I want to be like an interviewer and like professional about it, but like I'm like, dude, what's it like throwing 100 miles an hour? Freaking sick, like you know, stuff like that. So yeah, it's been an amazing experience. I want to do more podcasts eventually in the future with some big leaguers and just like all kind of sports, bro. I want to talk to all like high performing athletes. They're really interesting people off the field too. And
I think we're always gonna have that glimmer on our eye because we've all been baseball fans since we were kids, and we all follow the sport till this day. And it's like, you're a major league ball player, dude. Like, you know how sick that is.
It's so cool.
And one of those sickest experiences for me happened earlier this year, where I'm on the field in an Angel game, and Zach Neto is walking by, and he's just like, Spidey. And I was like, what?
You're like, what?
And that blew my mind. He's like, Dodger Films? I'm like, he's like, yeah, Gabe, you guys were at the All-Star game last year. I'm like, dude, wow.
Crazy.
What? How do you know? No way.
Yeah, I dapped him up when he got drafted.
That's so cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you did.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's nuts. And like, it's because like they're fans of the sport too a lot of the times, which is really cool.
Yeah, I think we're about to see a lot more ball players who will know the content creators like yourself, Dodger Films, myself, because they were those kids that were our audience during the prime. And now they're all about to get drafted.
Right. Like 6 years ago, like these dudes are just fans of you guys, and now you're fans of them, but then you're fans of each other. So it's like a cool thing.
Sick.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of the draft and everything, Gabe, you want to ask this next one?
So how cool was it to attend Max Clark's draft party?
Bro, that was like top, well, I don't know, 3 dopest content experiences. Really just like experiences.
Just
like,
Max Clark by himself was one of the most hyped up prospects that I've seen in years.
Crazy.
Like,
Yeah, we were telling him, like, Leo and I were together last night. We texted him because we're like, Max, you got to come out to LA and do some content out here, or like meet with some people, because he's a star, bro, type, like Bryce Harper.
I love
type
Max
thing.
Clark. He's cool.
Not to glaze too hard.
No,
Yeah,
that's-
you love Max.
We're not kidding. This
that's what it reminds me of. You said Bryce Harper,
Yeah.
because Bryce Harper was also on that same level of hype. Like, everybody knew about him before he got drafted. It was the same for Max Clark. Like, I'm not so involved in college baseball to where I can like, oh, I know that guy that got drafted in the second round, blah, blah, blah. But the guys that get talked about before, like Max Clark, I'm like, oh, dude, I've heard about this guy. They were talking him up.
Yeah, dude. And like for guys like me and Gabe who like are playing travel baseball while you hear about these top prospects, and you're like, oh, we're playing Philly Scout team. Oh my God. Like, you know, the kids on Philly Scout team because YouTube videos, youth prospects, stuff like that. So it's like, we're kind of like, you know, I don't know, I want to say idolizing, but like these kids were playing. It's like when probably a big leaguer plays against Bryce Harper. They're like, oh, I'm a big leaguer, I got to be professional. But like, that's Bryce Harper.
No, yeah.
That's the guy. Yeah. So that's what Max kind of reminded me of. And he also is super down to earth, dude. Really chill. Like, he's amazingly accepting to us, inviting us out to stuff like that. And I think it all comes down to like, we have good intentions. Like, we're just trying to make dope videos that like inspire kids. And like, he sees that and he's all for it. He loves, obviously, he's pretty much a content creator in himself. Yeah. So like, he gets it. So draft day was just, dude, hearing his name get called, like,
that's no one goes through that moment,
bro. Crazy. I want to do it again this year. There's a few guys who are top 10 draft picks who like, I'd love to be at their house.
Yeah.
But there's no one who's like the star caliber, like social media wise, as Max, which is crazy.
He's so like, he's so close with his whole community. Like, that's what makes it so
He's
sick.
like a small town
Indiana
like,
kid.
It's crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It was great. It was an amazing experience.
I've seen this trend going on for a while. You just did this. 5 games in 32 hours. Bro.
6 and 48.
It was Giants. 6 and 48.
That's true.
You went with Gabe the day before. But the title and thumbnail of the one you did was Giants, Angels, Dodgers, Padres, Angels, all in that 32-hour span. How crazy was that?
Dude, that was so fun because that's a video I've been watching for like, you know, when it started happening, like Jesser would do it for basketball.
Yeah.
I think MMG did it for football, and I'd always watch those ones because it's like, it incorporates like the YouTube challenge kind of thing with our sports that we like and players that we like and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, when the time's right, we should definitely do a baseball one. And Mark did his last year, which was sick. I remember watching that video, and I think Shot by Hype filmed for him too during that. And like we know Hype, like we've filmed with him before. So I was like, dude, I want to do something like them, but just put my own spin on it. So we're like, what's the most games in the shortest amount of time we can go to? And it just kind of worked out that we're like, okay, we can hit all the California or almost all of the California ones.
Yeah, especially to figure out that scheduling. Like, okay,
dude,
are they home? Okay, what time is their game?
Yeah.
Like,
it was stressful, but it was fun, and it was all for fun. Like, that's the thing, and that's why I wanted to like give a shout out to the people who inspired the video, like right in the beginning of the video, because it's like I wanted to like add on my part of the trend. Someone like it was a trend, and I wanted to kind of put my part in it or whatever. Yeah,
that's what
I think is good.
I totally agree with that. If you're just like, you got to get the credit where the credit's due, and like there's tons of ideas that I want to do, and I see them by other people, and I'm like, oh, that's a really cool idea. And I'm like, all right, I'll do it, but like for sure in like the first minute, I got to be like, hey, credit to this person, great idea. I wanted to try it for myself. And well,
dude, that's the thing. Like, as long, like what I realized, I thought about this. I was like, if someone quote unquote took my idea, but like was in the description, was like, hey, shout out Dsarm, credit to him in the video. Yo, like I got this idea from him. naturally you're going to put your own spin on it because it's your own video.
Yeah.
So just showing like respect and being like, hey, like I got this idea from this guy, or I was inspired by this guy.
Yeah.
It goes a long way, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it does.
I'd be like, I respect that.
Yeah, because if you're not saying anything, then it comes off like as copying and stealing the thing, and you're like, bro, you're not even gonna say anything.
You just gotta be
like,
transparent about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like myself, I do tons of sports content, but I also like I'll do content for anything that's like I consider fun. And I love those videos on TikTok of those two guys who they have the sign. They don't even say anything.
Yeah.
And I want to go do that at like USC or something. And I am going to try and plan out that video one day, but I'm within like the first 30 seconds. I'm going to be like, are you kidding TV? Genius idea. They do it all over, like on the East Coast. I'd love to try it out here. USC, UCLA. I think it's a hilarious idea.
That's the thing, bro. You even see like directors in movies where certain scenes and certain shots are like directly inspired by old movies that they saw.
Oh,
like
yeah.
The Godfather, so many scenes from The Godfather and like ideas from like even just like the story arc is copied in movies in the future.
Yeah.
But like it's not copied because they give credit and they're like, this is the person who inspired my idea and now I'm just gonna put my own spin on it. That's how ideas like evolve, like by taking what someone did and then just making it your way, you know?
Yeah, and we live so far into time by this point that it's so hard to come up with an original idea.
Baseball
Very true.
specifically. Baseball specifically is it's tough.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I agree. You ran into tons of complications. The early flights, the wrong Uber, the flight delay, all the driving. Like, what drove you the most insane during that video?
Probably Leo. No, I'm kidding.
honestly,
No, it's just
I love
because
Leo.
Leo's super like he wants like he thinks about all the things that could go wrong, whereas me, I'm like think about all the things that can go right.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, if we are kind of running late, it makes for a cool montage. I could put some hype music behind it, and it's gonna be all fun and exciting.
Yeah.
Leo's like, we're gonna miss this game. It's gonna suck, and I'm like, dude, no, it's gonna be fine. And then we end up kind of meeting in the middle and just being at the end of it, we're like, oh, that was kind of crazy because like I probably go a little too far on like everything's okay,
Yeah.
Whereas Leo goes a little far on the like we're not going to make this happen.
especially
So
with that
yeah,
flight delay.
dude, the flight was so annoying, bro. I was like, oh, come on, we could have driven down in that time that it took.
What airline was it?
I think United or something.
United.
I just found like it's like a quick hour flight from LA to San Francisco. Like we just planned that idea. I think we always had the idea to do that video. We're just like, I don't know when we can do it.
Yeah.
And then I was coming back from visiting home. And then we did your video, the $10 versus 1,000, which was super fun. And then we're like, ooh, tomorrow and the next day, there's actually a lot of games going on.
Oh, so it was planned pretty quickly.
It was like, it was probably like the day before the Gabe video, we really solidified like, okay, let me buy the flight right now. So we knew going into it, we were going to do the Gabe video, have that on a different SD card. And then the next day, we're just going to go to the airport super early.
Damn.
It was fun. Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah.
And that video did pretty well too. I'm really excited, like happy with how they performed.
Yeah, as it should. And my next question fits perfectly for that. Out of all your videos you've ever made, is there one that stands out to you and that you're really proud of?
I think the one that I'm most proud of, because it kind of got me out of my comfort zone, was I did like a Max Clark like mini documentary. It was called Generational. It was sponsored by Rawlings, which was like the coolest thing ever because Rawlings, like that's amazing.
Yeah.
And obviously, so I'd like watermarked the Rawlings logo on it and did like an ad read and stuff, and we got to give away gloves in it. But also it was more of like a proper like documentary in my eyes, where it's like we're interviewing Max, having his interview voice over a lot of the clips. I interviewed Ben Verlander for it. I interviewed Eric Sim for it briefly, and then like just kind of getting a bunch of perspectives and culminating all into like a 20-minute like story of like, I tried to make it bigger than just Max, where it was like how social media can kind of impact the game, the sports going into the future, and like how people can build their, like guys like Mikey Williams, who like you wouldn't have known without social media. Even the fact that like Bronny James is massive because his dad, but it's because he's huge on social media too. You know, it's one of those things. So like that was just really fun to kind of get out of my comfort zone and like story tell in that way. And it did really well too. The response from it was really, really cool. Like I still get DMs about it where they're like, oh, I just watched it, you know, great job. And it's because it's like, it wasn't stuff that you normally see on YouTube. Like I love watching like those mini docs or like those video essays, but there's not a lot about like baseball, like really long ones. So I was like trying to put my own spin on that kind of idea, and I was super proud of how it turned out, and literally like posted it, and then 2 hours later went to the draft at his house. So like I was editing it in the hotel in Indiana. We went to Indiana 2 days early just because we're like, I'm gonna need time to edit this doc and I want to put it out on draft day. So I'm just probably like 18 hours over 2 days editing this documentary, this mini doc we filmed,
Mhm.
and yeah, eventually put it out. I think on draft day, maybe the day before, and then the next day we were at the draft and filming that video.
I see a lot of docs with basketball.
Yeah, dude. Like,
have you
Nick in
seen
the
Nick
Cut?
in the Cut? Bro, I saw him the other day because we went
Jared
to
McCain. Was that?
yeah, we went to a Cam Wilder Rod Wave Elite game.
Yeah, I saw you do that.
Yeah, so I saw Nick in the Cut. I was like, dude, I want to like ask this guy so bad, like his whole process, and
So
he does everything. He flies around everywhere,
and he has like the coolest thing to me is like when you're in someone's house and they're like showing you their shoe collection or something, and it's like it seems really authentic, but it's like, oh, that, like, dude, if LeBron did a video where like someone just held up an iPhone and was like, yo, show us your shoe collection, I'd watch the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Sick. Like
It's
seeing
so-
like
yeah,
LeBron
it's so
talk
cool.
when like there's stuff like that where you just get access to stuff you normally wouldn't get. I think that's the coolest kind of content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think there is somebody who's nailed that kind of content in the baseball world. Baseball doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Makes great videos. His
Great
Zach
videos.
Greinke video
Amazing.
about him being the weirdest player. He's got a ton, and he definitely does that style. And I get hooked on those. If I watch one, I'm gonna watch like 5 more.
Dude,
probably.
and they're so like jam packed. There's like 20 minutes of like boom, 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 and the music he uses like the violin.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you're,
Yeah,
like,
at the
in it.
beginning.
I'm like in it, bro. He's like, I met him too, actually. I gotta forget his name, but like because I call him baseball doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But like I met him at the athletics game, and he was actually in our video. He did like a pull down thing. He's just like a 23.
that was him.
Yeah, when I pop tagged him or whatever.
Oh, I didn't even.
I've talked to him once on the phone, but super nice guy and smart guy. And he's like a 23-year-old dude from Virginia, has an editor, and he's just like, yeah, I just love baseball, I love making videos, and this is, it works. I mean, he gets amazing views, bro. His views are crazy.
You can tell he spends time like getting the research, the clips, the music, the editing, everything.
Smart. He's a smart dude, and he did an in-person interview at that athletics game. I forget who it was. That he was like an A's legend, but he's starting to do more like IRL stuff too, which I think is super cool.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's a great channel. Foolish Baseball, Bailey.
That's another good one.
amazing channel.
Yeah.
So this isn't on the notes, but
You know what's funny? Before you ask it, I thought of 2 questions that aren't on the notes, but go ahead.
I noticed, your come up has been so fast. Like, what's important to you to really make? Okay, bro. Okay, but you gotten very big in the last year. What's so important to you? Really, just keeping your fans involved with your videos as well, because you're so big on that.
That's the thing, bro. Like, I want to make videos that like my 15-year-old self would be like, oh, these aren't posted a new video, let's go. Like, I'd want to be fired up about it. And like a way I do that is I want to like include like the fans or the viewers in the video by like, I want to give away a jersey in every video. I want to like shout out if someone comes up to me while we're filming, I want to give them a little shout out in the video and like put them up like on the, we did the video and it was the kid who came up was like, yo, can I be in the video? Like stuff like that. I love involving. I love like buying kids stuff. Like, I remember doing that. Just like, I want it to be a thing where it's like, it feels like an event, like we're creating an event every video, and like even if it's the event just means like being active in the comments and like talking to people and like hearing their feedback and like implementing some stuff in the next video that they had feedback on. That's why like for Sunday's video I'm super excited because like we're doing a home run derby at a cool field and we're got some studs doing it. I think Rapsoda was going to send out like a thing, so we're going to have all the data about it. And then like 20 kids swiped up and were like, yo, I'm going to come shag. Like, can I come shag 5 balls? And we got like, I don't know, 15 or 20 kids like ready to go who are like excited to come 10 a.m. At, I think it's going to be Notre Dame High School. We might switch it up. But like, I want to create like an event and make that into a video.
Yeah.
And then make people involved and then feel like, they get to be like Dsarm does his one-on-ones. It's like if you were at the event, then you get to see yourself in the video a week later. It's just like a cool thing. It makes it more than just like a video.
Me and Gabe went to a Dsarm one-on-one before it got like too big.
Where?
That was so. We went to a one-on-one. He was doing it a little bit, and then it was his first time in LA.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I've been watching Destroying forever now. So we went to that, and then it was funny because he posted it, and like he had me in a little clip. I don't know if Austin can put it up, but I said like, because the big thing where it was like the Karen voice.
Yeah.
So I did a Karen voice in the thing.
Yeah.
And he put it in, and then all the comments were like, or some comments were like, "Yeah, let's Gabe and Dodger from." So he hit me up on Instagram. He was like, "Bro, I didn't even know you were like there." Like,
Yeah.
I was like, "Yeah, bro, I'm a huge fan, honestly."
Now you guys are boys, right?
Yeah,
Like,
and
talk
then
to them,
we went to the field. And he was kicking and stuff, and he ran some routes, and
we
yeah,
gotta
it
do a
was
video.
Good friendship.
Dude, we should go to. I want to do a video where we go to a football game with D. Like that'd be a
Dude,
sick-
dude.
I want to do a video because
Insane.
I'm working on some YouTube stuff. I want to do a video where not to spoil it, a little sneak peek. It's just like
Gabe
him
is
teaching me
dipping his
more
toes into
football.
YouTube.
That'd be
Kicking,
awesome, bro. Like
kicking all
getting a
that
one-on-one lesson with him about kicking. That'd be sweet.
Because
Bro.
he's an athlete. Like he can do.
Yeah.
Bro, he would probably love to do something like that. Like he's always about putting other people on, and he knows you guys know each other. So like that's kind of cool.
This just popped into my head. The craziest story with destroying. I was coming back from WBC. I drove there, and there's probably a charging station, 2.5 hours, middle of nowhere, desert. And I'm just sitting in my car, and I look up, and I see another Tesla, and he has a specific wrap on his, and I'm like, there's no way.
In the middle of
It's
nowhere.
black and white, right? Like
yeah,
half and
it's
half?
like half black, half white.
Oh, like the shirt. Like
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, and there's no way. And my friend's with me, and he gets out of my co-host, Mobo, and I'm like, I gotta go say hi. And then he gets out of the car as we're walking to uncharge it, and I'm like, yo, D, and I'm like, there's no way in the middle of a desert that we're at the same charging station.
Wait, what was it, like just Palm Desert, or was it like?
Dude, it was just some
Middle-
charging station
that's
between
crazy.
Cali and Arizona.
That's crazy.
He was going to Arizona, I was going back home.
That's crazy, bro.
And then I'm like, I know Gabe, I know you know him, like we're in the softball videos together, and he's like, oh, what? And I'm like, I know.
It's so random, but he probably sees like, oh, he's got a Tesla too, so he's chill. Like he's a normal, he's a cool person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like obviously I was looking probably a little crazy, but that was just me that I couldn't believe that this was happening. I'm
Yeah.
like, how?
Dude, that's like Leo. Leo has a Seek Discomfort tattoo. Do you know?
Oh yes, yes theory, dude. I love
Leo
their videos.
was in Paris on a family vacation, and he just sees. I think it was
Thomas.
He saw Thomas, and not. I don't think it was Amar. Maybe it was Thomas and Amar, but he was just on like a food tour in Paris. Looks to his right, and they're just sitting there at like a cafe. He goes, yo, I gotta, and then he's like, he tells me the story like he's a crazy person. He's like, I got and they see the tattoo. They're like, oh, Seek Discomfort. And he just like kicked it with them for like 10 minutes and took a picture with them. And
That's
like,
crazy.
It's just crazy when you meet the people who like, you've seen so much of them, but you've never like met them before.
Yeah.
The weirdest
It's
feeling,
weird.
too.
The internet is weird that way.
Like you're starting to give me that. Like not bad, but like I see
my
you and I'm
videos.
like, dude, this guy's just like a content creator. Like I see him and he's just a content creator. Like you see him in the videos and you see him in person. It's like it's different.
Another crazy story like that. This doesn't involve any of us, but do you remember when Bobby went to Paris and he went to Paris, goes to the top of the Eiffel Tower for a tour. Liza Koshy is on the same tour that he's on.
That's hilarious.
And he's like sending pictures. He was like, just met Liza Koshy. She was a part of our tour. And I'm
That's
like,
so rad.
what?
Dude, she was popping on YouTube. Like she was an OG YouTube star, bro.
Yeah.
Now she does more like, like TV.
Yeah,
stuff,
like TV, movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And the questions that popped into my head, is there any content idea you want to do that's not planned, but you're like, oh, I'd love to do that one day, and a player you'd like to meet one day that hasn't happened yet?
One I want to do a couple more of those like challenges where we go to a certain amount of games. Jester did a really cool one that I liked where it was like going to an MLB, NFL, and NBA game in 24 hours.
Man, that's hard.
Which is, you'd have to do it like during the World Series, I think. So it'd be a World Series game and then go to first NBA games of the year, whatever. So I want to do one of those, kind of put my own spin on it that way. I'm trying to think. I want to do other ones where it's like giving away stuff. Like I want to do like, Mr. Beast used to be like giving a homeless person $10,000.
Oh, yeah.
I want to like give little leaguers $10,000 worth of gear,
wow.
for Christmas or something.
Yeah.
Like
Gabe from Dodger Film, anything he wants.
You don't need it. No.
Yeah.
But like, like just doing like generous stuff in the baseball world, because that one makes for amazing content because like people love watching that stuff and it's so fun to be a part of, and two, you get to help out people. And like if I get like partner with a brand, I could just use all the brand money and like use that to buy the kids stuff. And like that's just a thing. Like I don't know, if I'm gonna have a platform, I want to like be able to like inspire other people and like positivity type stuff.
Yeah, and I love challenging myself when it comes to videos to do those bigger videos. Like last night, Gabe and I were just watching the one NFL player amongst 6 fake NFL players.
Yeah.
And it's
I
like,
love the NBA one.
And so
AJ Green did a good one too in football.
Yeah.
I saw that.
And I was telling him, I'm like, dude, nobody's done this for MLB. And I was like, I have like 2 people that are real MLB players that I could contact, and I was like, I'd love to do that. Like, so I love challenging and looking for those bigger videos.
Yeah.
And it's just a part of like growing in the experience and getting everyone involved, and I love doing it.
Yeah.
And then is there a specific player that you haven't interviewed, talked to, that you're like, they're on your radar and you're like, I'd love to be able to talk to this person?
I'd love to talk to Stroman, bro. Marcus
Yeah?
Stroman. I think that would he's kind of controversial at times because he like says what's on his mind. But like for me, that makes for the perfect interview. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's like you're
For
gonna get
him?
honesty. Stroman's a great one. I'd love to. I'm trying to think. Like obviously Bryce Harper would be sick. Like I
Oh,
want to do
yeah.
more stuff where it's like just going over someone's whole like career story in a podcast, being like, yo, I pick a year. I'm like, yo, in 2010, like tell me about who you were in 2010 and how you evolved. Stuff
Yeah.
like that would be cool. It's super hard to get to that point where you're interviewing those people, but like it's all about just like having the right intentions and being like, yo, I just want to share your story and then hope the cards align at some point.
Yeah. I think the
Or
coolest
stars
thing is
align.
going through their minor league.
Yeah.
Their minor league experience. 'Cause it's different for everyone. Some people fly through it. Some people been in there for years.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
And you learn
That's
a lot
cool.
about
Yeah.
yourself during that process. I feel
Exactly.
like.
Have you seen Mookie's his
podcast? Yeah. Those are
Dude, his
great, dude.
podcast is sick.
I want to. Oh, Mookie's another one I want to talk to, bro. Because he's actually about the content. Like a lot of players just
He's
don't
trying to
want
get
to be
into it.
involved in it just because they don't like it. But Mookie like actually is about it. So like, I'd love to do one where it's like just a conversation. With that's like and make it about like his whole kind of story. Because I wouldn't like I totally would be down for just posting a random pod out of nowhere where it's like Mookie or Mike Trout. Like I don't think people would complain. You know, it's like a little different because I used to do those anyway. So I think those guys.
Other than his podcast, like he's such a big player, great player. But before he started doing that, you really didn't really know too much about him.
He's quiet.
At all. Yeah, he's quiet.
Yeah.
It's just that guy, but it really helped him now.
Yeah.
I find it funny that you said Marcus Stroman because, Gabe, what did I literally say before he got here? We were talking about Baseball Generations, the camp.
Oh, yeah.
And every year they have 4 captains. It's usually Nick Gordon, Jazz Chisholm, Dominic Smith, and I'm blanking on the last one. But we went last year for Flash. Yeah, Nick Gordon. That's what I said.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah.
JP.
JP Crawford. There we go. And so they're always there. And then usually like 3 guys that you're not expecting show up. Last year was Giolito, Jack Flaherty, and Stroman was there the year before we went. So I was like, okay, he's involved in Baseball Generations. I'd love if he came out this year. And so I literally said to Gabe right before you got here, I'm like, I hope he's there this one because it's in like
it's in November, right?
Yeah, I'm going. It's November 11th, I think.
Damn. Yeah, I think we're going to like the Rawlings. This is tentative, but like we're gonna go to the Gold Glove ceremony.
Oh, nice.
In New York.
Oh,
that's
dude.
the same weekend, bro.
My
you can't turn that one down.
Oh, my friend Tony Todd, he's done everything at this point. But he's gone to that and he awarded Lindor his Gold Glove.
That's sick.
I want to do that. That's sick. That'd make a sick video. Yeah, I know. It's like that weekend, bro, is like there's that Baseball United thing, like Dubai. Like that thing is that weekend, the Baseball Generations, and then the Rawlings thing. So it's like apparently it's a big weekend for baseball.
I guess so.
Yeah, that's funny.
Now, how many stadiums have you been to? MLB.
I was trying to do the math. Actually, the other day I was trying to I think like 15 or 16.
Okay.
Probably, yeah, like half.
What's your favorite one?
I really liked Oracle. Oracle was super cool.
Yeah,
Petco's
it's beautiful.
Super cool. Fenway is like my hometown one. Fenway's it's like a staple. Milwaukee had a really nice one.
I just went there last year.
Yeah, I like Milwaukee a lot. But yeah, and then Dodger Stadium's super cool too. I think probably like my favorite experience because a big thing for me is like good food. Like a lot of stadiums don't have like that good of food. Oracle was sweet because they had a ton of options. Petco was super cool too.
I love
Because
Petco.
the food. I
Dude,
think Petco might be my favorite.
Just that line down the third base line right there, they have so many options.
So much, yeah.
I fell in love with Petco.
And Gabe, that barbecue we had last time,
gosh.
oh my God.
Good, the brisket.
It's right there on the first base side, and it was so good.
Yeah, bro.
Love
I got the tacos.
I've been to so many stadiums, but never like in them for a game. Like my first time going to Petco, I was just on the field.
Yeah.
I was on the field. It was Rocket League's
third birthday party.
Yeah, and it was during Comic-Con. We were there for Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And we was like, let's go on the field. So, who was that WWE player, wrestler that was there?
Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins. They were at Comic-Con.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, we've gone to I think 3 years of Comic-Con, and every time they have it, the Padres are on the road.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder what's going on at Petco because it's the exhibit hall and Petco, and we go in. Hi, welcome to Rocket League's third birthday party. And they're giving away shirts and everything.
Thanks. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
So he just went for the first time this year to Petco Park.
Wow.
Yeah, we went the day after you guys were there for your video.
Yeah, we were there for like 10 minutes. It was
Yeah.
crazy. But
Javi
That'd be so annoying to drive.
Yeah, it was.
Javi was there from Dodger Films that game. You
Oh,
went
he
to.
was. Oh, yeah.
Oh, and I was at the Angel game you went to for that video.
You were the first game.
The one,
the
so
Shohei home run
you
or the other one?
you barely stayed, but yeah, the Shohei,
Shohei
home run,
yeah,
the
yeah.
guy caught it barehanded, then
Yeah.
the grand slam. Oh
yeah,
my
that game
god!
Was I remember watching the highlights as we were at Dodger
Yeah.
Stadium, and I'm like, no, we missed a Shohei home run, which sucked.
Dude, that guy caught it bare. I was probably 6 rows behind the guy that caught it. He caught it barehanded.
That's insane.
And I don't know
that
why
ball was hit
Shohei
so hard.
wanted
that
it,
would hurt.
but he wanted that ball for some reason.
Was it number 4? It was
It,
39. wasn't
it was number 40, but he's
Oh.
hit a 40 home run season before. So I was like, that's kind of odd.
That is kind of weird.
And then blue shirt security, I always know if I see them, it's like they want the ball.
Yeah.
So they come down and I'm like, oh, what the heck? And then he's walking up. He walks right by me with my camera.
That's crazy.
And my friend is always like, don't bring a glove. Always catch it barehanded. So he pulls the guy and he's like, hey, tell the camera, bare hands, right? He's like, bare hands only, baby.
That's
We don't
hilarious.
need gloves around here. And
That's
then
so funny.
he just walks out.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's that game was exciting. And the game the next night was really cool too. They should have won. They could have won.
I know,
too.
dude. That's the Angels for you, bro. If they're gonna score 7, they're gonna give up 9, like they
Yeah,
did that day.
exactly what they did.
And we talked about all kinds of baseball questions, content, your journey. Do you see yourself branching into non-baseball related content at any point?
Yeah, dude. I think like the first step could be like the athlete experience kind of one we're starting to go for with like the Hawaii video we're working on, which is going to be amazing. And like, yeah, like show more of the holistic experience as an athlete, kind of bring in some broader viewership. And then maybe like, again, like the MLB and a NFL, NBA game in 24 hours could be another one where we hit kind of different. I just want to slowly kind of like jab at different communities and see like if there's a more of a pull before going like all in on like an NFL video or all in on NBA video. But I love football. I love basketball. So like I'm totally down for all that. Like,
Yeah, that's the thing.
future.
I think a lot of people don't realize, like, we get put in our niche, but we love so many other things. Like, for me, the one that really shocked me this year, I've loved WWE since I was like 10 years old, but I was like, our audience wouldn't mess with WWE. There's no way. And I always wanted to go to WrestleMania, and I am finally old enough to where I can afford it. So I went, vlogged it, and then it got like 20,000 views, and I was like, what? You guys like WWE?
Yeah, and then you realize like probably a lot of your audience does, and then you kind of reach a different audience who's like, oh, like new people
exactly.
come. Yeah, so it's
Exactly. And I got to say, I am shocked because we ran through our notes, and this just shows like the content creator in you. Gabe literally said, because this is probably the longest notes I've written in a while.
Yeah.
And Gabe was like, this is going to be your longest episode. There's no way.
One of the best too.
Dude, it's
Ben's a great guy. He's
One
a
of the
great guy.
best.
One of my favorite people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Dude.
I love Gabe, bro.
You've always been nice to me ever since we met. I thank you
most
for
genuine.
that. And yeah,
'Cause
genuine
we
for
got
sure.
some weird looks at people like sometimes.
We have, yeah.
I just try to be, I'm just like kind of try to be as honest as I feel like in my videos. I try to be like the same version, just more like high energy version of who I am naturally anyway. So I just try to be honest, like transparent, because that's like how you get the most out of people too. It's like you just want to, that's how you become actually friends with people.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. You just got to treat others how you want to be treated.
100%.
You want to build you want to build just connections with everyone
That's what
that you meet.
That's what I always say. Like the baseball world, I want them to grow together. Like I don't want all this like competitive hate towards each other. Like it's like, dude, if you're doing good, like root
Let's
for the
collab.
others too.
Let's do
Like
something.
yeah,
thing,
or
man.
let's do something.
We
Yeah,
can all eat. Like everyone can all
Exactly.
eat. Like, there's like enough viewership for everyone. Like if you make a good video, people are gonna watch it. So why don't we all make good videos? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like it's how it is.
yeah. And Gabe, you thought this would be the longest. I think that says an hour 8 over there, which is your episode was 2 hours when we.
This was only an hour and 8 minutes.
Yeah,
You had a 2-hour episode.
yeah. So that's.
It did not feel like 2 hours at all. It felt like 20 minutes.
I know, dude. That's everything I wanted to talk about, and we'll get you on this flag right here.
Let's go.
So let's
Yeah,
get
dude,
that
thank
right
you so much
now.
for having me, man. This has been. I love. Like I said, like I just love being involved with other creators. Like,
No,
it's just fun.
I really respect and honor that you were so quick to respond and down to come in person too. So thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Let's sign this flag. Dan on the flag. Dsarm, baby. Boom.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. Once again, thank you, Dsarm, for joining us. And we'll see you guys in episode 35. Unknown if Mobo will be back yet, so there might be another guest host. Gabe, thank you for guest hosting this episode.
Thank you. I hope I did good. Tell me how I did in the comments.
No, I think you did.
well.
I think you did really good because
sir.
you were just like, you had my notes that I wrote, and you were doing it yourself. You're like, now let's talk about this, and I'm like, oh, I don't have to tell him.
Dude, I think so much stuff too. So I'm like, oh, I want to ask him this question. I want to ask him this question. So yeah, he's an interesting guy.
Yeah.
Interesting guy.
Don't forget the schedule. You got you got Spotify 2 p.m. Thursdays, and you got YouTube video version 2 p.m. on Fridays. Thank you everybody for watching. We'll see you in episode number 35.